Good evening and thanks for joining us. We begin with one of the biggest challenges in reopening the economy in the age of COVID-19. September means back to school, and that means teachers, parents, and millions of students are embarking on an experiment. What happens when you send kids to class in a pandemic? Some are still unsure about whether it's worth the risk. Even the Prime Minister said a few weeks ago his family hadn't decided. He has since revealed his 3 kids will be back in their classrooms and posted this on Twitter today. His youngest son, Hadrian, heading to grade 1. Back to school plans, whether it's in class, online, or a blended version of the two, and class size and spacing varies depending on where you live. In some regions, officials want kids back in class in person full time. In others, like Ontario, students have the option of remote learning. Schools there will gradually reopen over the next 2 weeks.
We're ready, and I'm not saying that there's not going to be bumps. There will be bumps in the road as sure as I'm standing here. But again, I have the confidence in the system, the teachers, the principals, and the school boards.
Not everyone is sharing that confidence. In tonight's top story, Eric Sorensen takes a closer look at Ontario and the complex back-to-school rollout.
How are you feeling about sending your kids back to school?
I'm a little nervous.
Matthew Boardman speaks for a lot of parents, uneasy about sending their kids to school.
COVID-19 is not a joke, but at the same time, life needs to get back to normal for everybody.
Kimberly DeRoss has made a difficult decision for her 7-year-old, and she's not alone.
I've chosen to keep him home with me. I've actually quit my job to do that. So he's going to be home, and we're going to see what the first couple weeks look like or months look like.
Schools like Ord Street School in Toronto will be little more than half full, but many teachers are concerned that class sizes will remain large.
Kids at my school will be coming to school with large class sizes, no social distancing, and just unsafe conditions.
The basic formula in an ordinary school year, classrooms full of kids, each with a teacher. But many kids in Ontario are being kept out by their parents, opting to have them learn from home. However, class sizes won't automatically become smaller. In many cases, students will be redistributed to retain standard size classes, and teachers will be reassigned, some to teach online, the kids staying home, leaving some classrooms empty and a last-minute shuffle for teachers.
A week and a half before the kids show up in our classrooms, we not only know who our students are, we also don't know what grade or what subject, and it's all up in the air.
I have all the confidence in all the principals and teachers going back to school. They're going to be the backbone of this program.
Bottom line, say some premiers, there isn't enough money to make classes smaller. Take Alberta, which wants all kids in classrooms.
There is no world in which you could reduce class sizes in half and reopen the schools for the current school year. You'd have to build 800 new schools and certify 13,000 new teachers. It's simply fictitious.
Back in Ontario, administrators say it's a lot of change so close to the school year.
Yes, this is very late in the game, but teachers are professionals, and given the time and the support, they will be very good teachers wherever it is they end up teaching.
Opening schools is only the start. Teaching and learning will only get more complicated if and when COVID-19 shows up in classrooms. Eric Sorensen, Global News, Toronto.
Parents and teachers in New Brunswick found out today what back to school will look like for them. That province released its operational plans. They're all available online. Each school developed individual approaches based on student population, facilities, and community needs. Full-time learning will be mandatory for all students, whether they're in class or at home. In Newfoundland and Labrador, the provincial government is creating new virtual teaching positions to help immunocompromised students who can't attend school, and more public health nurses will be hired for added support. Everyone is being encouraged to use the COVID-19 Alert app, which lets users know if they've been close to someone who's tested positive for the virus. Newfoundland and Labrador is the first province in Atlantic Canada to launch that app. Nova Scotia's back-to-school objective is to return to full capacity in the fall when classes resume next week. But the Nova Scotia Teachers Union is raising major concerns about the province's back-to-school strategy. As Ross Lord reports, time is running out to get it right.
When classrooms in Nova Scotia open next week, Van Bernard won't be there.
It's a little bit upsetting that I can't see all my friends, but I'm happy that I'm home because I don't think I'd feel safe and secure if I were at school.
Van has spinal muscular atrophy. He uses a machine several times a day to clear his lungs of matter that could make him sick.
I would need one of my helpers to take off my mask if I were in school and be very, very close to me and put it on my face.
When he gets the flu, typically he ends up in the hospital with double lung pneumonia, 2-week stay, full antibiotics, IVs, breathing machines. So I can't even fathom what COVID would look like for him.
The Nova Scotia Teachers Union is also sounding the alarm, claiming conditions and policies for resuming classes are sorely lacking. The union says opening day, scheduled for next Tuesday, should be delayed.
There's no sanitizer for staff to train with. There are no safety protocols in place. So schools are chaos right now. Staff have no idea how they're supposed to keep kids safe.
The Nova Scotia government insists there's a practical plan in place, a plan that includes removing students who might be infected.
There's some anxiety associated with that, no question. But the rhetoric around schools being in chaos is just not helpful, not accurate.
Van and his family say there's no reassurance about protecting the most vulnerable students.
Nobody seems to know anything about how to social distance or how to safely integrate special needs children in the classroom and in the resource centers.
Van's parents are not experienced in homeschooling, but they say Van will start grade 8 at home until they're more confident he can attend classes in person safely. Ross Lord, Global News, Hammonds Plains, Nova Scotia.
In Quebec, a group of parents has gone to court to fight for the right to keep their kids home to learn remotely. In Quebec's Superior Court, the group said new back-to-school rules in the province are unfairly restrictive. They want an injunction issued to allow more students the option to learn from home. Right now, only students who qualify for medical exemptions can opt for virtual learning.